Welcome back, guys. So you gave me 40 names, but you actually only gave me 38, and you asked me to book a Royal Rumble, say who throws out who, blah, 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 all of those things. So I'm just going to go through this. By the way, you've got Cody on here twice, and you don't have a number 24. So it's meant to be 38 or 40 guys, but you only have 38. So let's just go through it. Let's just go through the order, and then let's see who eliminates who. First enters Rusev and JD McDonough, and they have a bit of a scrap. Rusev obviously dominates, and in comes Gunther at number 3, and Gunther immediately chops McDonough so hard that McDonough goes out of the ring. Now Rusev and Gunther, they've got a bit of a hoss fight, and in comes Jimmy, and Gunther gets Rusev down, and he turns his attention to Jimmy because he obviously had a bit of a thing with the bloodline. I'm booking this as if it's 2025 Royal Rumble, and as if all these guys are in their prime. Some of these guys are not around anymore, and Gunther and Jimmy have a bit of a scrap, and Roman comes. Now, if you watch my Roman Returns video, the bloodline has reunited, so Jimmy and Roman, they double team Gunther. Rusev is still selling in the corner, and in comes KO, and he's obviously also on Jimmy and Roman's side because they've now turned face. They've got Sammy, all of those things, and Gunther is putting up a massive fight until AJ Styles comes in, and AJ Styles, he doesn't care who he's fighting. He just fights anybody, but I want to keep the bloodline strong for now. So eventually AJ Styles eliminates Rusev. In comes Will Smith next, and the bloodline immediately turns their attention to Will Smith, and they yoink out Will Smith. Next in is Jay. So now we are 4 members strong of the bloodline, and now they team up on KO, Gunther, and AJ. Next in comes Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali tries to hang around but doesn't get very far until he also gets eliminated by the bloodline. As you can see, the bloodline's pretty much going to dominate through this Rumble. In comes Mansoor, exactly the same thing. He doesn't stand a chance, and he also gets eliminated by the bloodline. KO, AJ, and Gunther, they're still fighting strong. Next in comes Vince McMahon, and he waits outside the ring for the next entrant because he sees this bloodline thing going on, and he's like, nope, I'm not going in. And out comes the beast, Brock Lesnar, and he looks at Vince, and they nod, and he shakes Vince's hand, and they both go into the ring, and he immediately picks Vince up, and he F5s him out of the ring, and he gives that sneaky Brock smile that he does, and Vince is gone. In comes Ellsworth, and Brock eliminates him so quickly he breaks Santino's record. What they tried with I can't remember his name now, one of the primetime players, but it didn't work. But he breaks Santino's record, and in comes Braun. Braun. And Brock does what he did at the, I want to say 2020 Rumble, where he was so dominant. I think it was 2020 Rumble. And he's like, oh, big boy. And now the bloodline, they've occupying one side of the ring, and Brock and Braun have an absolute hoss fight. They smack 7 coats of paint off of each other. And in comes Ricochet, and he immediately joins the bloodline thing. So the focus now is Brock versus Braun. Next in is Cactus Jack, and he actually goes after the bloodline, and he manages to get out Jimmy. Now the bloodline is slightly weaker, but as he takes out Jimmy, Roman kind of eliminates him kind of with Jimmy. So he's clotheslining Jimmy, and Roman is behind him and chucking him out with Jimmy. This is not a whole angle where Roman accidentally eliminated one of the bloodline members. This is just him eliminating Cactus Jack. So now Cactus Jack is out, and in comes Seth Rollins. He's obviously going to be on KO and AJ's side, and we still got this whole bloodline saga fighting. But now KO, AJ, Ricochet, and Seth, they actually have the numbers. And next in comes Cody Rhodes. Now it's very tough because the bloodline are now fully faced, but in a Rumble that doesn't ultimately matter. So the group of Cody, Seth, while Braun Breaker and Brock is still fighting, the group of Cody, Seth, Ricochet, KO, and AJ, and Gunther still, they managed to eliminate Roman and AJ. Now it's every man for himself. Now there's no more bloodline. In comes Otis, and as he comes in, Braun and Brock kind of does a double military press, gorilla press, throwing Otis out of the ring. Very impressive spot, and Otis is gone. This is where you had Cody twice, and now comes The Rock, and there's no more bloodline for him, and he just has to face things on his own, and he goes after Brock to revisit, what was it, SummerSlam 2002, or was it Survivor Series 2000? No, Anyway, I think it was SummerSlam or Survivor Series, one of those, 2002. And him and Brock, they've got a bit of fight. And Bron Breakker takes advantage of this and he eliminates both of them. Shawn Michaels style, Shawn Michaels eliminated Vader and I believe it was Yoko. And he actually gets out Brock and Rock. So Bron Breakker is booked extremely strong. And in the middle of this scuffle, Jay is gone. In the middle of this scuffle, Gunther actually eliminates Ricochet and Gunther eliminates Cody, getting a little bit of revenge for Cody winning 2 Rumbles in a row where he was a predominant player. Next comes Hogan and he just gets absolutely battered by Bron Breakker and then he gets eliminated. He doesn't last any time at all. This is where you didn't have a number 24. Next thing is Batista. Batista and Bron take off right where Bron and Brock left off and they just bat each other. In comes Gable and Gable just suplexes everybody. He suplexes Gunther, he suplexes KO, he suplexes Seth, he just suplexes everybody until eventually he actually eliminates KO. Next in is Angle. And Angle and Gable, they shake hands. They both take the straps down. Now they're in their singlets with the straps down and they just start absolutely wrestling a clinic. Next in, I don't know why you guys put him in the booking stuff that you want me to do. Next in comes Benoit and I'm just going to eliminate him immediately because I don't want to speak about Benoit and I don't want to speak about him anymore. And in comes Henry. And Gable and Angle, they actually get a little bit worked over by Henry because Henry, he's got the absolute power advantage and he manages to get out Gable, after which Angle gets out Henry. Next in comes Swoggle and Bron Breakker throws him into the third row of the crowd. Now it's Gunther that's left, Bron that's left, Seth, Batista and Angle. Next in comes Undertaker and Undertaker, he chokeslams everybody around. In comes Theory and Undertaker does the spot where he chokeslams you out of the ring and he chokeslams Theory out of the ring. Next in is King Booker, not just Booker T, it's King Booker. And he sticks around for a little while until R-Truth comes in next and R-Truth, he immediately looks at Bron standing there, Gunther standing there and he shouts, "I undeclare," and he just jumps out eliminating himself. We need a little comedy spot. Next in is Grayson Waller and he sticks around for a little while until eventually King Booker eliminates him and in next is Stone Cold and there's a stunner party. He stunners absolutely everybody and he eliminates Seth and Batista. So we're left with Gunther, Bron, Angle, Taker, Booker and Stone Cold. Next in comes Big Show and Gunther and Big Show, they've got a bit of a chop off until eventually next in is Tozawa and Stone Cold does a stunner so hard that Tozawa kind of sells it over the top ropes. Next in is Umaga and Umaga gives a couple of guys the spike until last but not the least in comes Yoko. And Yoko and Umaga, they have a Samoan beast fight until eventually Yoko gets out Umaga. Now it's all these guys. We've got Gunther left, we've got Bron left, we've got Angle left, Taker, Booker T, Stone Cold, Big Show. Taker eliminates Big Show and he eliminates Booker T. So we're left with Yoko, Stone Cold, Taker, Angle, Gunther and Bron. And this is where the combined powers of all these guys take out the biggest threat. They take out Yoko. So we're left with our final 4. It's Gunther, Bron, Angle, Taker and Stone Cold. This is our final 4 until eventually we're left with our final 2 and I'm booking for the future. Final 2. Oh, sorry, we still had Angle in as well. Angle also gets eliminated. We're left with our final 2, which is Gunther and Bron. And I'm very high on Gunther. Gunther chucks out Bron after they have like a 10-minute classic match and Gunther wins. Guys, I actually did not plan for this at all. I just kind of made it up right now on the fly. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing. Until next time, peace.